Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today it is a preview for Chelsea v Everton tonight. Huge game for Europe, especially after Manchester United have dropped points away at Bournemouth. Huge, nothing to say more really, apart from we need 3 points. Nothing more, nothing less. It's a huge game. It's a huge game for these players after the embarrassment that was the last 2 games against PSG and Newcastle. Last 3 games, sorry. It's been a tough week to be a Chelsea fan, but they have a chance to prove themselves against Everton today, especially since Manchester United have dropped points. They dropped points today to Bournemouth, 2-2. Tough game for Man United. It's never easy going to Bournemouth, especially after they're 10 unbeaten at the moment, made that 11 now. So Man United were always going to struggle there, I think. It was a bit weird for them to play Sesko up front, to not play Sesko up front, sorry. I believe that he should have started, especially after the form. You always want to start confident players, especially in the running that Man United have. But let's get on to Chelsea. Chelsea, this has always been a tough game for us in recent years. We've only won 1 game in our last 6 against Everton away from home. Obviously at home it's a different story, but away we struggle at Goodison. It's Hill Dickinson Stadium now, but we still struggle away at Everton. It's going to be a tough game. I do believe that Everton will they will give everything. Of course, they're fighting Europe themselves. They have a chance to really gain on us, really. But we need to win, especially after the situation that we're in now. We could be with a chance of getting 4 points behind Man United. Only 4, especially where we were at the start of the season, is crazy. But it's us and Liverpool and Aston Villa now. So we must win. Huge. So let's get straight into it. My predicted lineup, what I would go for. Obviously, no Reece James, he is out. Esteval is back in the squad, which is huge for us. Finally, a direct winger. Someone that will run at players, not afraid to run at players. Even though I do think Garnacho, I want him to start in this game. I believe that it's his time. I saw some really good glimpses against PSG in both of the legs. I didn't watch Newcastle, but I know that Palmer had some really big chances in that game. We had a chance to really kill that game. But it seems to be a recurring theme where Chelsea just don't finish their chances. It's been like that for the past 4 or 5 games, really, where Chelsea just don't seem to take their chances, especially at home. We're definitely better away from home, so that's given me some hope for today. But let's get straight into it. What would be my starting 11? I'd go Sanchez in goal, even though I do think we need to strengthen in the summer with a goalkeeper. But Sanchez has to be the goalkeeper for us now until the end of the season. He has to be the number 1, especially after the performance that Philip Jorgensen put in against PSG away from that first leg. Terrible performance. Right back, you would have to think it would be Gusto. I do believe in that first leg he actually played really well, Gusto. I don't believe he played badly. It would be nice to see that Gusto more often. Him drifting into that attack and helping out Neto, because I do believe Neto needs all the help he can get. But I'll definitely go Gusto at right back. He deserves a shot. He needs to perform. We can't have the Gusto that we did 5 games ago, where he was just... We know what Gusto's like. He's easy to beat on that right back role. He's up against... We'll go on to the players to watch and ones to watch, but centre backs, Chalobah is a huge loss for Chelsea. So what I would do is, it's going to have to be Fofana, and it's going to have to be left centre back. I'd go Hato. I'd go Hato left centre back. I believed he played really well against PSG. I wouldn't go Sarr. He struggled against PSG. I know I'm going to mention PSG a lot because it was the most recent game, but I'd honestly go Hato left centre back with Fofana, and then left back, obviously Cucurella, no questions asked. And then I'd go Caicedo and Latvia. We need support for Caicedo. Andre Santos and Enzo Fernandez can't do that role like Lavia can. So I believe it's Lavia's time to start a game. and I believe Everton away is that perfect opportunity for him. We need that double pivot back. We saw it against Liverpool away last year. We saw it Liverpool home this year. Latvia and Caicedo, they play really well. It's kind of like they have an understanding of each other. In the 10, I'd go Enzo Fernandez. Obviously, the stuff that's come out this week about him has not been great. Hearing things, he's on a new contract, then he wants to leave. So we don't really know his stance at the moment. But look, Enzo Fernandez, he's a phenomenal player and we need to keep him. And I believe in that 10 role, Enzo Fernandez can play really well. On the right, I would just shove Esteval right in there. Esteval has to start against Everton. Then I'd go Joao Pedro and then I'd go Cole Palmer. I believe that would be my starting 11. Garnacho is Garnacho, Neto on the bench. I do believe Garnacho is going to be an impact. I know Chelsea fans' frustration with our wingers this year. They've not been great, any of them. Not even Esteval, really. I know people love Esteval because he's entertaining, and you don't really get wingers like that, and that's what makes you want to watch football, is players like Esteval, where they just run at players. They have no fear, and that is what football's about. But I don't believe. I do believe Garnacho, there is a player in him, but is he good enough to start? No, he isn't. And Joao Pedro has to start. We need to strengthen in attack, 100%. Key players for Everton has to be Ndai. Ndai is the one for me that is going to cause us so many problems. Gusto is the man he's marking, so that is definitely a worry. Another one is James Garner. I do believe that James Garner is the one to look out for. We know that Brathwaite's going to be fit for this game, and Tarkowski, so they're going to have a strong defence. We know how good Jordan Pickford is in goal. It's not going to be an easy game at all. Do I believe we can get 3 points? I do. I think 2-1 Chelsea. I believe away from home, we do have a good away form this season. We need to win. I know this video has been very weird and very confusing. There's no real standpoint, but we need to beat Everton on Saturday. No questions asked. So that'll be my starting 11. That's my score prediction. Look, where we're at right now as a football club is not amazing. It's not nice. Getting knocked out the Champions League 8-2, getting embarrassed like that against a team. But there's one thing you need to do is bounce back straight away, and this would be huge for the players. How much do they want to play in the Champions League next year? Like I said before, Manchester United have dropped points. It's time for us to bounce. We have Man United coming up, so we have City coming up. We have a tough run coming up. This is probably the easiest game of our running, really, when you think about it. We have Liverpool coming up. With Liverpool making it into the Champions League, with Aston Villa making it into the Europa League quarterfinals, we do have an opportunity. We really do, because there might be a situation where Liverpool might focus on the Champions League more, where Aston Villa might focus on the Europa League more, because they see that as a trophy, but also getting into that big competition. So it's huge for us to beat Everton tonight. I'm worried because if we lose tonight, I do believe that is Champions League over, officially. I don't see us really going on a massive run where we beat teams like at Liverpool. We can't beat Everton away. It's a really big test for the players. Liam Rosenior has said in the preview that he believes in the group of players that he has. I'll judge after this game because a couple of these players that played really well last year have not turned up this year. Palmer, Caicedo, Cucurella even, these big players that last year were amazing and, performing week in, week out, have not turned up this year. and that's been the most disappointing factor. You know, we thought in 2022, 23 that would be the last of this ownership where they learned from that season. They haven't learned. Every season it's been worse and worse. You know, Pochettino with signing a Tottenham manager who really doesn't know that Chelsea identity. You know, dropping points to Burnley that season, Sheffield United, finishing fifth that year when we should have really been comfortable in the top four with the players that we had. Then going on to the following year, bringing in Enzo Maresca, and that start of the year when we brought in Joao Felix, we brought in these special talents, and we thought, hello, maybe they do know what they're doing. And we finished in the top four, surprisingly, after that run in December where it was terrible, which I think people seem to forget under Maresca, where we was in a title race with Liverpool. I think people seem to forget that. And then this season, after winning that World Cup, just been dreadful. So we need to end this season on a high. We ended it last season, these players did. Obviously, we're seeing Levi Colwill in training, which would be huge. Levi Colwill back would be so huge. We need someone in that defence that is experienced. It's incredible to say that Levi Colwill will be the most experienced centre-back that we will have if he comes back. You know, putting on so much weight on his shoulders. Can he handle it? I think he can. I do believe he can. But I do believe that there's light at the end of the tunnel. We just need to finish in the top four this season. And I know a lot of Chelsea fans, they don't just want to finish in the top four. They'd want the FA Cup, and I do believe the FA Cup is what this club needs to focus on now. That FA Cup is huge. We've got Port Vale. That's a huge game. At the end of the day, we cannot look at Port Vale and go and underestimate that we did Wrexham. We got very lucky with Wrexham. Even though it was a clear goal and it was a clear red card, we still got lucky. Wrexham deserved to go through. And you need luck to win an FA Cup. So I'm hoping that is the light at the end of the tunnel, an FA Cup victory, which will put really some light on a really bad season. It's been a terrible season. We should be far clear of Man United and Liverpool, but we haven't, and we need to learn from it. But yeah, Everton, big game. David Moyes looks up for it. He said in his press conference that we're wounded, which we are. We will be wounded, but it will show the players resilience and their courage to see how much they want it. It's all good saying it. And this is the thing with these players, you don't know what's true and what's not, because of their PR. Do they actually want it? Do they actually go in the dressing room and say, we want the Champions League football next season? Do they want to be here next season? We just don't know. But we definitely have, with Esteval back, with Levi Colwill maybe back, with Reece James, it looks like his injury is not that serious. That's another huge thing coming out this week under Rosinha, is that it looks like Reece James' injury is not that serious. That is huge. If we can get him back after the international break, after beating Everton, huge, especially with City, United, Liverpool, Tottenham on that running. That would be huge to get him back, We have a tough end of the season. Let's finish the season well. Beat Everton on tonight. Put a standpoint. Go 4 points behind United. Put pressure on them. Put pressure on Everton. Not Everton, sorry, Aston Villa. It's a huge weekend of football. Aston Villa's got West Ham at home. That's not going to be an easy game for Villa, especially with Villa after Europe as well. We know how much they sometimes struggle after a European match, so that's going to be huge. United again dropping points last night. Please, Chelsea, for once, just win a game, and I'll be doing a video after I watch it. It's definitely going to be an interesting one. I hope so that we win. I really do. But yeah, thanks for the support on the first video about my stance on Chelsea. Wasn't a good night, but the comments appreciated. So let's hope I'll be back for the aftermath of the Everton game. Have a good night, everyone, and like and subscribe, and peace up the Chelsea.